Hi, this is Leanne from Global Media Networks, and we are here with an exclusive interview with Minister Faiszer Musthapha. He obtained his master's degree in United Kingdom, choosing legal profession as his career, specializing in company law. He is also a member of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and a Central Committee member of the party. It was with Honorable Faiszer Musthapha as its candidate that the Sri Lanka Freedom Party was able to have a representative for the Muslim community in the Kandy district after 54 years. He served as the Deputy Minister of Tourism, the Minister of Tourism Promotion, and the Deputy Minister of Environment. At present, he is a Member of Parliament for the Kandy district and Deputy Minister of Technology and Research. So let me start by asking you, sir, what inspired you to become a politician?
What inspired me to do politics was youth empowerment. I come from Kandy. I see the youth, especially in the rural areas, lacking opportunity. There is no equal opportunity when you, in the sense, with regard to English language and technical skills they lack. So, in my village, that is Madhavala, I wanted to motivate the youth. With regard to youth empowerment, I got involved with them, and that dragged me to the bigger picture of politics, where I believe that if I'm part of the legislature, I'll be able to serve the people more. And I have been continuously focusing on youth because I believe that the youth is the future, especially when you see how politicians carry out their duties. You see a lot of politicians carrying out acts for short-term benefits, like giving roofing sheets or small development activities. But if you can empower the youth by giving them language skills, technical support, and also making them feel that in this environment that they also have an opportunity of being a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. Because if you see a family from a poor background, if the father is a farmer, the son is not very ambitious. Generally, he'll also feel that he has to also end up as a farmer. But the big picture is that if he studies, if you can give him the motivation, you can see progress. And that's what I have been doing. And I believe that I have achieved in empowering the youth to a certain extent, but there are many obstacles. And I hope that I will continuously be able to engage with the youth of our country.
So for how long have you been serving as a politician, and where did you start?
I've been a member of Parliament for the last 7 years. Before that, I was the Vice Chairman of the National Housing Development Authority and the Land Development Authority. So I've 7 years in Parliament. In addition, I've served as the Deputy Chairman of NHDA and Land Development Corporation. My stint at the NHDA, especially with regard to providing shelter, it was very challenging. And the last 7 years also, as a member of the legislature, you have a lot of expectations, but then again, you can't achieve all. But I would like to say, being in Parliament gives you insight of what you can do and what you can't do. Because people expect a lot. People have great expectations when they send you to Parliament, because they let you believe that you are the best in that area to solve their education, their problems related to shelter, health, so on and so forth. But as resources are limited, you have to do a lot to get ever until you want. No, sorry, not get ever what you get the best from what is there. There are things you can achieve, but always if you see the voter, his expectations from you is greater than what you can deliver. So that's the basic problem as a politician I'm facing today. But under His Excellency the President, after the eradication of war, I think we have achieved a lot, especially tangible peace is something which this country lacked for 30 years, and that has paid dividends, because earlier, during the war, the biggest problem was when the father and mother leaves home, the father would go by train, the mother would go by bus, especially if they're coming from my area like Kandy, to come, because they fear that they'll get caught to a bomb. But today, due to the dynamic leadership of His Excellency the President, country is investing a lot in infrastructure. Sometimes people expect tangible benefits very fast with infrastructure development, but it has been proved that through infrastructure development, job creation would take place and people's livelihood would be greater because urbanization. If people in the village could have a better standard of living, they would not come into a place like Colombo or into the Kandy city where there's high density, which would create further problems. So today, being a member in the legislature, I see this government and being part of this government. I'm very fortunate to be with His Excellency the President during the time we eradicated terrorism. I was the Deputy Tourism Minister and the Tourism Promotion Minister at times, so I had to do things internationally and locally. And people used to wonder how we could promote tourism at that time, but we managed to do that as well. So basically my 7 years in Parliament has been very challenging, but I believe that my voters have greater expectations than what I have delivered, and I hope at some point I will be able to live up to the expectations.
So being a young member of Parliament, what are the challenges you face?
As a young member of Parliament, the challenges you face are primarily that people believe that you are young and it takes a lot of time in the political hierarchy to get a substantive position where you can deliver. As you know, when you are a member of Parliament, then you have to be a Deputy Minister, and then it takes time and age to get a real position where you can really deliver. So basically the challenge you have is you have political power. Sometimes you need greater political power to deliver as regards to the expectations of your people. So as any young politician, when he enters Parliament, the primary problem which you face that people think that when you enter Parliament you can do anything. But it takes time. You see a senior cabinet minister, he could do a lot of things through the resources which he has in a ministry. When you take a deputy minister, you can do a certain amount of work. But a member of Parliament, he is dependent on the ministers and the deputy ministers. So, as you know, in politics there is a hierarchy. So, to move in the hierarchy, as you move up, you can do more for the people. So, I think the greatest challenge I have is I'm doing as much as I can, but people have great expectations, and living up to that expectations, I would say, is the greatest challenge I have.
As Deputy Minister of Research and Technology, in your opinion, how would research and technology facilitate the future developments of Sri Lanka?
As any country, whether it's a developed country or a developing country, is dependent on technology today. And you see the Western world, they develop not through primarily through technology. So after we have achieved peace, I believe that this ministry can play a very important role with regard to the development taking place in this country. Especially my minister and I are working with the SME sector, because the SME sector in any country is the backbone of the economy. And today we are working with the SME sector, looking at how we could improve their productivity, their standards through technology. So I would say that this ministry, with regard to taking Mahinda Chintaniya forward, is playing a very important role with regard to identifying the technology needed to take this country to a greater level.
Sir, with all due respect, if I may ask you, while you were in the Ministry of Tourism, how was it to cope up with what you did and what you achieved despite the country's situation and despite the war? If you could tell us about it.
I know when I was the Deputy Minister and the Minister of Promotion of Tourism, promoting tourism was a very difficult task. Especially I led most of the delegations in most of the travel fairs. And the first question asked, how can you promote Sri Lanka when you have terrorism? And the answer is to give them that because that terrorism is a global phenomenon and we have Asia. But today things are different. So in that scenario, we worked very hard. We had a very good team in place, a young team in place, especially my Minister Honorable Milinda Moravan at that time had faith and had confidence in me that when he entrusts any matter to me that I could deliver. And I think I created the Middle East market, and he gave me the opportunity of taking leadership in promoting markets like Eastern Europe and looking into the SME sector, where we help the beach boy, the tabili seller in certain skills, which I think today is paying dividend. So I think I enjoyed my tenure as the Deputy Minister of Tourism and as the Minister of Tourism Promotion. Especially, I think when you have obstacles, when you have challenges, life becomes more interesting, and especially when it's an absolutely difficult task in an area like tourism, which is a very competitive industry. Then I'm proud to say that my former Minister, Honorable Militha Murugan, and I sustained the industry for better times.
As a part of the delegation, what is your opinion of the future inflictions of the Geneva Convention and the resolution passed against Sri Lanka?
Basically, that resolution primarily infringes upon the sovereignty of Sri Lanka. We as a government opposed the resolution. But if you see, various countries voted due to their own internal reasons and due to global politics. So basically, I would like to say that that resolution was not voted on the basis that it was right or wrong. The ones who voted against us, I believe, some countries voted because there was serious pressure from certain countries for them to vote in support of the resolution. But we are a small nation. But we proved that majority of Asia, majority of the Middle East, and some African countries had faith in us and had confidence in us. But I believe certain countries who preach human rights, talk about democratic values, should look at themselves in the mirror. Because before you question any other, especially we fought this war on the basis of these zero casualties. We did not violate human rights. We fought against the most ruthless terrorism organization in the world, which some of these countries who supported the resolution also has proscribed them as a terrorist organization. So the world was with us. We need time and space with regard to the implementation of the LRC. My President Mahinda Rajapaksa, is committed in taking this country forward, and I believe that some of the issues raised in the resolution has already been addressed. And as a country, we will always do what's best for our citizens, and we don't need interference from other powers to tell us what is right and what is wrong. We believe that we know what is best for our country, and we have never acted on the basis of race, religion, or creed. We are trying to take this country forward. But I believe that this resolution can create polarization, because today citizens of the country are moving away from the psyche of thinking thinking on the basis of race and religion and thinking of Sri Lankans. So this resolution is not to take this country forward, but would start some quarters to think on the basis of ethnicity, because today I believe any decision we take is taken on the basis of what is best for all Sri Lanka. So whatever resolutions, whatever obstacles we have, I believe that this government and His Excellency the President has the vision and the strength to take this country.
You are a member of Parliament in the Kandy district. Now there is a rumor saying that you have been requested to move to Colombo. Is there anything you have to say about that?
As regards to the question that I'm moving to Colombo, I've been elected by the people of Kandy and I'm working for the people of Kandy. But if His Excellency the President asks me to contest in Colombo, Kandy, Jaffna, or any part of the island, I'm willing to take that challenge.
And your message to the public will be?
We should always think as Sri Lankans. 30 years of war has cost us a lot. If we do not think in a secular manner, we put this country forward. Especially, you see, I'm a minority. Today's Excellency the President has very clearly stated there are no majorities, there are no minorities. Especially, the minority community should always think that what they should do for the country, and they should also think secular. without primarily asking for what their share is, they should think what they should do for the country.
So I take this opportunity to thank you. Despite your busy schedule, you were still able to make some time for us and for giving us this opportunity. So on behalf of Global Media Networks, a big thank you and wishing you all the very best.